Right now, you're feeling it. The gut-wrenching sting of betrayal, the weight of disappointment, the disbelief that someone you gave your heart to could take you for granted. It's a kind of pain that shakes your core, making you question everything, your worth, your choices, your future. And in this moment, it feels all-consuming, like it's going to swallow you whole. But listen carefully. Pain is not your enemy. It's your fuel. Think about the most powerful transformations in history. They didn't happen in times of comfort. They happened when someone got sick and tired of being in the same cycle, of being mistreated, overlooked, and underestimated. They happened when the pain became unbearable, when it turned into something more than just an emotion, when it became a fire. Right now, you have a choice. Either let this pain drown you, or let it ignite something unstoppable inside you. Why does pain feel so overwhelming? Because your brain is wired for survival, and right now it sees loss as a threat. The human mind craves certainty, safety, and connection. When someone takes you for granted, when they make you feel like you weren't enough, your mind spirals into doubt. It wants to hold on to the past, to replay every moment, to analyze what went wrong. That's natural. But you have to see past that. You have to recognize that this pain is giving you a gift, the chance to rebuild stronger than before. Think about the people who have achieved greatness. Do you think they were handed success on a silver platter? No. They were burned by life, by betrayal, by rejection, by loss. And they took that pain and turned it into something that no one could ever take from them again. Oprah was fired and told she wasn't fit for television. Steve Jobs was kicked out of his own company. J.K. Rowling was rejected over and over again. What do they all have in common? They didn't sit in their pain. They used it to become untouchable. You have to do the same. The pain you feel right now is raw energy. If you let it fester, it will eat you alive. But if you learn to channel it, it will become your greatest asset. Right now, it's time to stop thinking about him and start thinking about you. So how do you turn pain into power? Step 1, let the pain sink in. But set a deadline. Too many people either ignore their pain or drown in it. Neither will serve you. If you suppress it, it will show up later in your relationships, your confidence, your ability to trust. If you let it consume you, you'll stay stuck in victim mode. Instead, acknowledge it, feel it, but don't stay there. Set a time limit. Maybe it's a week, maybe 2. But tell yourself, after this, I rise. Step 2, write down every ounce of hurt, then burn it. Get it out of your head, put it on paper. Every single thing you wish you could say to him. Every ounce of anger, every unspoken word, every tear, every disappointment, pour it onto the page. And then destroy it, burn it, rip it up, shred it. This is a physical act of release. You are telling the universe, this pain doesn't own me. I own it, and I'm letting it go. Step 3, use it to fuel your comeback. Now the real work begins. You take all that energy, the frustration, the hurt, the fire, and you direct it somewhere productive. You build, you train, you educate yourself. You start new projects, you set new goals. You wake up earlier, you take care of your body, you become so focused on your own growth that there isn't even space in your mind for him anymore. Look at athletes who lose a game. Do they sit in self-pity? No. They hit the gym harder. They train longer. They push themselves past their limits. That's what you need to do. Treat this pain like the weight room for your soul. Every rep, every effort, every moment of discipline, it's making you unbreakable. Step 4, shift your mindset. He was the catalyst, not the loss. Right now, your mind wants to tell you that losing him is the worst thing that could have happened. But what if it's the best? What if this pain is exactly what you needed to evolve? What if this experience is the breaking point that finally forces you to stop playing small, to stop settling, to finally step into your full potential. Because here's the truth. People who take you for granted never deserved you in the first place. They were in your life to serve a purpose, to wake you up, to teach you something, to push you into a version of yourself that is too powerful to ever be overlooked again. Now, you have a decision to make. You can sit in the pain, replaying every moment, hoping he regrets it, waiting for an apology that may never come. Or you can decide that this is the moment everything changes, that this is the beginning of your rise. The pain isn't here to break you, it's here to build you, to turn you into someone who no longer seeks validation, who no longer tolerates half-hearted love, who no longer waits for someone else to realize their worth. Because the moment you embrace this pain and turn it into fuel, you become untouchable. And trust me, he will feel that shift. But by then, you won't even care. Right now, your mind is a battlefield. You're replaying conversations, analyzing moments, wondering if you should have done something different. Maybe you're asking yourself why he didn't see your worth, why he treated you like an option instead of a priority. You're stuck in a loop, thinking about him, what he's doing, whether he misses you, whether he even cares. Let's get something straight. This is the trap. This is how people lose themselves after heartbreak. They get so caught up in the other person that they forget who they are. They hand over their power by making someone else the center of their world, even when that person is no longer in their life. It's time to shift the focus back where it belongs, on you. Step one, recognize that he was never the prize. You were. Heartbreak has a way of distorting reality. When someone takes you for granted, your mind plays tricks on you. Instead of seeing the situation clearly, you start idolizing him. You focus on the good memories. You romanticize who he was. And you completely overlook the fact that he chose to devalue you. It's time to flip the script. He was never the prize. You were. A man who fails to see your worth, who treats you as disposable, who expects you to beg for his time, that is not a man to grieve. That is a man to forget. And the only way to truly forget, reclaim your focus. Step two, cut off the distractions that keep you focused on him. You can't move forward if you're constantly looking back. So let's talk about the things that are keeping your focus on him. Social media stalking, stop checking his page. Stop watching his stories. Stop trying to decipher his posts like they're some kind of secret message meant for you. Every time you do, you're handing him space in your mind, space that should be reserved for your growth. Mutual friends updates. If people are feeding you information about him, shut it down. Tell them you don't want to hear about his life. Why? Because it's none of your business anymore. Your energy is too valuable to waste on his choices. Emotional clutter, maybe you still have old texts, pictures, gifts. Every time you see them, you trigger emotions that pull you back into the past. Get rid of them. Delete the messages. Clear the photos. Pack away the things that remind you of him. When you remove the things that keep him in your thoughts, you free up space to focus on what actually matters, your future. Step three, shift the obsession from him to your own growth. Right now, you're spending hours thinking about him. Imagine if you took all that energy and redirected it toward your own self-improvement. If you can check his Instagram daily, you can read a book that expands your mind. If you can replay old conversations, you can start journaling and processing your emotions in a way that heals you. If you can spend hours wondering who he's with, you can spend that time working out, getting stronger, and building your best self. The reality is, you are your greatest investment. Every time you shift your focus away from him and onto your own growth, you take back your power. You become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Step 4, rebuild the identity you lost. Here's the truth. When you were with him, you probably gave parts of yourself away. Maybe you dimmed your light to make him comfortable. Maybe you put his needs above your own. Maybe you stopped doing the things that made you happy because you were so focused on keeping the relationship alive. It's time to reclaim yourself. Ask yourself, what were the things that made you feel alive before him? What dreams did you put on hold? What version of yourself did you lose while trying to keep him? And then start rebuilding. Pick up old hobbies. Try new experiences. Reconnect with the people who truly value you. Take yourself out on dates. Start living for you again. Step 5, build a life so full that he becomes irrelevant. The best way to stop thinking about him, fill your life with so much purpose, passion, and excitement that he no longer fits into your world. Set new goals. Push yourself harder than ever, whether it's in your career, fitness, or personal growth. Create goals that keep you driven. Upgrade your circle. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who inspire you, who remind you of your worth. Create new experiences. Travel. Take on challenges. Step outside your comfort zone. The more you immerse yourself in new experiences, the less space there is for the past. Step 6, become someone he could never reach again. There will come a day when he realizes what he lost. He'll remember the way you loved him, the way you supported him, the way you were always there. And when that day comes, he'll look for you. Maybe he'll send a text. Maybe he'll try to reconnect. But by then, you will have outgrown him. Because by shifting the focus back to you, you will have become a version of yourself that no longer needs his validation, his presence, or his regret. You've been hurt. You've been taken for granted. And now you want him to feel it, to realize what he lost, to regret the way he treated you, to suffer the way you did. But let me tell you something powerful. The way to make him suffer isn't through anger, tears, or revenge. It's through indifference. See, most people think the opposite of love is hate. It's not. Hate still means you care. Hate means he still has power over your emotions. Hate means you're still thinking about him, still investing your energy in him. But indifference is a wall he can't climb. It's a door he can't open. It's silence where he expects a reaction. And trust me, nothing drives a man crazier than a woman who no longer cares. Step 1, understand why indifference is so powerful. Men expect reactions. They expect you to be angry, to cry, to send long messages explaining how they hurt you. They expect you to fight for their attention, to ask for closure, to chase the validation they withheld. Why? Because that's how they feed their ego. That's how they reassure themselves that they still matter to you. But when you stop reacting, when you stop caring, that's when they start questioning everything. The moment you no longer respond to his words, his actions, or his absence, you take away his control. He starts wondering why you don't care anymore. He starts replaying moments in his head, questioning whether he underestimated you. And the worst part for him, he has no way of knowing what's going on in your mind. Indifference is the one thing he never expected, and that's exactly why it works. Step 2, detach from the emotional hook. Right now, he still has a hook in your mind. Maybe it's the way he made you feel. Maybe it's the unanswered questions. Maybe it's the hope that one day he'll realize what he lost. Whatever it is, that hook is what's keeping you from true indifference. So how do you remove it? Accept that closure is a myth. You don't need a final conversation. You don't need an apology. You don't need him to admit he was wrong. The only closure you need is the realization that he is no longer relevant to your happiness. Break the habit of checking up on him. If you're still looking at his social media, still asking friends about him, still hoping for a text, stop. Every time you check, you reopen the wound. Every time you check, you give him space in your life that he doesn't deserve. Reframe the story in your mind. Instead of seeing yourself as the one who was hurt, see yourself as the one who outgrew him. Instead of focusing on what he did to you, focus on the fact that you are now free from someone who never truly valued you. The moment you emotionally detach, you take back your power. Step 3, remove all access to. Indifference isn't just about how you feel, it's about how you act. And if you truly want to master the art of indifference, you need to make it clear that he no longer has access to you. That means no responding to his messages, even a simple "I'm fine" is too much. Silence speaks louder than words. No reacting to his attempts to get a rise out of you. If he suddenly starts posting things to get your attention, don't fall for it. The moment you respond, he wins. No allowing him back into your space. If he tries to come back with a weak excuse, a late night text, or a half-hearted apology, don't even acknowledge it. He needs to feel what it's like to be locked out. By removing access, you force him to experience the one thing men hate the most, irrelevance. Step 4, build a life so full that he becomes a distant memory. Indifference isn't just about ignoring him. It's about truly moving on. It's about reaching a point where his existence no longer affects you, where his presence or absence doesn't change a thing in your world. How do you get there? You fill your life with so much purpose, so much joy, so much ambition that you don't have time to think about him. Prioritize yourself like never before. Invest in your health, your career, your passions. Create a life so fulfilling that no man, not him, not anyone, can ever shake your confidence again. Surround yourself with high-value people. Connect with friends who uplift you, mentors who inspire you, and environments that challenge you to grow. The more you evolve, the less significant he becomes. Set new goals that excite you. When you're focused on leveling up, you stop looking back. Every time you make progress, you put more distance between you and the past. The beauty of this step, you won't even have to try to be indifferent anymore. You simply will be. Because by the time he realizes what he lost, you'll be so far ahead that he won't even be a thought in your mind. Pain has two paths. It can break you or it can build you. Right now you have a choice. You can sit in the pain, replaying the past, wondering why he didn't appreciate you, or you can use this moment as the catalyst for your greatest transformation. Because here's the truth. The best revenge isn't anger, it's elevation. The most powerful thing you can do isn't to make him miss you. It's to become so evolved, so successful, so magnetic that he becomes irrelevant. And that starts with one commitment. You are going to level up in every single way. Step 1, master your physical. You don't just want to feel better, you want to become unrecognizable. When you walk into a room, you want to exude confidence, energy, and strength. That starts with your physical transformation. Upgrade your fitness. Hit the gym. Take up a new workout routine. Train like you're sculpting the most powerful version of yourself. Because you're not just building a body, you're building a mindset. When you feel strong, you radiate a different energy. Elevate your style. Change your wardrobe. Find pieces that make you feel powerful, sexy, and unstoppable. Not because you need validation, but because when you look in the mirror, you should see a version of yourself that commands respect. Take care of your health, eat like you love yourself, get enough sleep, prioritize skincare, wellness, and self-care. When you feel good physically, you carry yourself differently. This isn't about impressing him. It's about becoming the version of yourself that impresses you. Step 2, upgrade your mindset. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you have. And if you want to level up, it starts with rewiring the way you think. Adopt a growth mentality. Stop dwelling on the past. Stop seeing this experience as a loss. Instead, see it as the opportunity that pushed you into your evolution. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Reprogram your self-worth. He took you for granted? Good. That means he wasn't capable of valuing someone at your level. But your worth isn't based on his perception. It's based on you. Remind yourself daily, you are irreplaceable. You are powerful. You are a force. Feed your mind. Read books. Listen to podcasts. Study successful people. Absorb knowledge that fuels your ambition, because when your mind expands, your world follows. The version of you that levels up is the version that refuses to stay stuck in old patterns. Step 3, create an unstoppable energy. Energy is everything. People don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. And the fastest way to shift your life is to shift the energy you radiate. Confidence is non-negotiable. Walk with your head high. Speak with certainty. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. When you step into a room, own your space. Protect your vibe. Cut off negativity. If someone drains your energy, distances you from your goals, or reminds you of the past, you don't need them in your life. Your energy is sacred, and only those who uplift you deserve access. Embrace boldness, take risks, try new things, get out of your comfort zone. The more you push yourself, the more unstoppable you become. When you start radiating this kind of energy, people feel it. And the best part, you won't care who notices, because you'll be doing it for you. Step 4, build a life that outgrows him. The easiest way to forget someone who didn't value you? Create a life so full that there's no room for them anymore. Set ruthless goals. Chase the dreams you put on hold. Whether it's your career, business, fitness, or passion projects, go all in. Make progress so undeniable that the past becomes irrelevant. Elevate your circle. Surround yourself with people who challenge and inspire you. The company you keep determines the energy you absorb. If you want to level up, be around people who push you to grow. Say yes to new experiences. Travel. Try new hobbies. Do the things you've always wanted but never prioritized. Because the more you experience, the more you evolve. When you start living at this level, you stop looking back. Because the person you're becoming is far more exciting than anything you left behind. Step 5, develop a deep that commands attention. People who level up don't have to announce it. Their presence speaks for itself. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you move through life. It all creates a gravitational pull. Master the art of mystery. Not everyone needs to know your every move. Work in silence. Move strategically. Let your results do the talking. Be selective with your time. High-value people don't chase, beg, or wait for anyone's approval. They set the standard, and others either rise to meet it or fade away. Stay unbothered. The strongest energy is calm, confident detachment. No drama, no desperation. Just a quiet certainty in your own power. When you reach this level, you don't need closure, you don't need validation, you don't need revenge. Because the person you've become is the only proof you need. Let's be real, he thought you needed him. He thought your happiness revolved around him, that your world would collapse without him, that you would always be waiting in the background hoping he'd realize what he lost. And for a while, maybe you did. Maybe you believed that your joy was tied to his presence, that his love or lack of it dictated your worth. But now it's time for a radical shift. Because the most powerful thing you can do, the thing that will truly make him suffer, is to take complete control of your own happiness. When you reach the point where you are genuinely, undeniably, unshakably happy without him, that's when you win. That's when you become untouchable. Step 1, recognize that happiness is an inside job. Most people go through life believing that happiness is something they find in another person, a job, a relationship, or a situation. But that's a lie. Happiness isn't something you find, it's something you create. It's something you build from the inside out. And when you master this truth, you become immune to the ups and downs caused by anyone else. Think about it. If your happiness depends on someone else, what happens when they leave? What happens when they change? You lose your foundation. But if your happiness is built from within, no one can take it away from you. No one. So right now, make the decision. You are responsible for your own joy, no one else. Step 2, shift from lack to abundance. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck after heartbreak is that they operate from a mindset of lack. They focus on what they lost, what they don't have, what was taken from them. But this kind of thinking only traps you in the past. The way forward? Shift into an abundance mindset. Instead of I lost him, think, I gained my freedom. Instead of he doesn't love me, think, I now have space for the right love. Instead of I feel empty, think, I am creating a life that fills me up. When you start looking at life through the lens of abundance, you stop feeling like something is missing. You realize that you are already whole, already complete, already more than enough. Step 3, find joy in your own company. A lot of people avoid being alone because they associate it with loneliness. But being alone and being lonely are two different things. Loneliness is a feeling of emptiness. But solitude is power. It's the ability to enjoy your own presence, to be your own source of happiness, to feel complete without needing anyone else to validate you. So start dating yourself. Seriously. Become your own best company. Take yourself out to dinner. Enjoy the experience without needing someone across the table. Go to the movies alone. Feel the freedom of choosing what you want without compromise. Spend time in silence. Meditate, journal, sit with your thoughts. Learn to love the stillness. When you master the ability to be happy on your own, you become the kind of person that others are drawn to, but you no longer need them. Step 4, build a life that excites you. Happiness doesn't come from waiting for the right person or the right moment. It comes from actively creating a life that makes you excited to wake up in the morning. Try new things, pick up a hobby you've always wanted to explore, learn a language, take a dance class, go skydiving, do things that make your soul feel alive. Set big goals. Challenge yourself. Train for a marathon, start a business, write a book, work toward a promotion. Progress creates fulfillment. Surround yourself with positive energy, cut off toxic relationships, seek out people who uplift and inspire you. The people you spend time with will shape your happiness. The goal is to fill your days with so much passion and purpose that your past is nothing more than a stepping stone to something greater. Step 5, master emotional freedom. True happiness isn't about never feeling pain. It's about having emotional freedom. The ability to feel emotions without being controlled by them. Feel it, but don't dwell on it. If sadness comes, let it, acknowledge it, process it, and then release it. Don't let it define you. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions. Just because you feel lonely one night doesn't mean you should text him. Just because you miss him doesn't mean he deserves a place in your life. Develop emotional resilience. The strongest people aren't those who never get hurt. They're the ones who know how to heal and keep moving forward. When you reach emotional freedom, you become unstoppable. Nothing he does or doesn't do can shake you because your happiness no longer depends on anything outside of yourself. Step 6, radiate an energy that he can't ignore. When you truly dominate your own happiness, something incredible happens. You start radiating a new energy. People feel it when you walk into a room. They see it in your eyes, in your smile, in the way you carry yourself. And that energy, that's what makes people take notice. He will wonder why you're glowing. He will wonder why you don't care anymore. He will wonder why he no longer has any power over you. And that's when it will hit him. He lost something rare. Not because you tried to make him see it, not because you begged for his attention, but because you became someone so powerful, so happy, and so fulfilled that he no longer had a place in your life. He took you for granted. He assumed you'd always be there, that your love was permanent, that no matter how he treated you, you'd stay. He thought you needed him more than he needed you. But what happens when you flip the script? What happens when you become the one he can't replace? The one that haunts his thoughts? The one he regrets losing for the rest of his life? That's the goal. See, most people think making someone suffer is about revenge. It's not. Real suffering, the kind that lingers in a man's mind for years, comes from knowing he let go of something truly valuable. And nothing is more painful than realizing he lost a woman who became the one that got away. Step 1, walk away with no warning, no drama, no second chances. Men expect closure. They expect a conversation, an argument, a final chance to explain, or a plea for them to change. But you're not giving him that. No dramatic goodbye, no emotional texts, no explanation, just silence, just absence, just a door that closes so firmly that he never gets to open it again. See, men don't realize what they have until it's gone. And when you walk away with quiet certainty, it shakes them to their core. They don't get to hear you cry. They don't get the satisfaction of knowing you're still hurt. They don't even get to defend themselves. You leave him alone with his own thoughts, and those thoughts will torment him. Step 2, become everything he thought you couldn't be. Maybe he underestimated you. Maybe he thought you'd never move on, never thrive without him, never become more than who you were when he had you. That's where he's about to be proven very, very wrong. If he doubted your ambition, become wildly successful. If he thought you'd fall apart, rise higher than ever before. If he assumed you'd always want him, make it clear through your growth, your confidence, and your energy that you have outgrown him completely. He'll watch from the sidelines as you evolve into someone so magnetic, so powerful, so extraordinary that he won't even recognize the woman he once took for granted. And that will eat him alive. Step 3, make him question everything. Nothing haunts a man more than uncertainty. Did she ever really love me? Was she always this strong? Was I the problem? Did I lose the best thing I ever had? You don't have to say a word. Your silence, your success, and your absence will plant these thoughts in his mind. Every time he sees you thriving, every time he hears about your glow up, every time he realizes you never look back, he will question everything. And that question will increase. He will want to reach out, to test if you still care, to see if there's a way back in. But when he does, he'll be met with indifference. And nothing will destroy his ego faster. Step 4, let him see you live, but never give him access again. At some point, he will try to re-enter your life, maybe subtly, maybe directly, maybe through a random "I miss you" text. But here's where you show him exactly how much power you hold. You do nothing. No response. No reaction. No acknowledgement. Why? Because men crave what they can't have. The moment he realizes you are truly, completely out of reach, that's the moment he starts to suffer. And the best part? You won't even care. Because by that time, you'll be too busy living a life so full, so joyful, and so fulfilling that his existence will barely cross your mind. Step 5, leave him with one final, unshakable thought. There will come a day when he looks at the woman he's with, the one who isn't you, and a thought will creep into his mind. I had something rare and I lost it. Maybe he won't admit it out loud. Maybe he'll never tell anyone. But deep down, he'll know. And that knowledge, that regret, that realization that he lost a woman who became untouchable, that will be his suffering.